Gentlemen, welcome back. This is video 2 in a 7-part video series entitled Selling Luxury Items. Today, this video is about exchange of information with your customer. Our last video, we talked about the approach, how to bring a customer in the door and how to greet them and those types of things. I'll link to that video down below. It is video 1, the approach, in the 7-part series called Selling Luxury Items. In the description, that whole segment or series of videos that we're going to have. And today, exchange of information. So what does that mean? Exchanging information at this stage in the selling process is not name, address, and phone number and things like that. You will do that when you close the sale and prepare for a follow-up, which are steps 5, 6, and 7. Today, we're exchanging information to learn what this customer is looking for. If you sell products in a high-end store, like I do, a jewelry store, or you could be a BMW or a Lexus dealer, you could be a high-end watch store like your Rolexes or Patek Philippe's. You could sell high-end men's clothing, Allen Edmonds shoes, or maybe Armani suits or something of that nature. Now, if you are, you have to create a funnel, what the customer came in for, and narrow it all the way down to what that customer is willing to buy. But the way you create that funnel is you start out with a broad series of questions, and you gradually narrow that question down until you get to the item that customer wants. The best case scenario is when you narrow it down to 2 items. Maybe the customer's looking at a BMW, and you narrow it down to a 735i or a 740, white or black. Both have the same options, wheels and etc., but the colors are only thing different. That is the most optimum sales feature there. You bring it down to a point and they have to make a choice whether to buy it or walk. After you get past the initial invitation or the initial conversation, welcome to my store, what are you here looking for? So the customers walked in and you've greeted them, you gave them your name and you've gotten their name. And maybe you talked about the weather for a moment or a son's birthday party or something like that, just to break the ice. The first question you should ask is, so what brings you in today? Customer might say something along the lines, it's my mother's birthday, my father's birthday, my parents' anniversary. Which birthday is it or which anniversary is it for your parents? Is it 25th, 50th, 40th, whatever? Customer may answer with, it is my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. But then you move the question down a little bit further. You could say, that is a fantastic anniversary. Are you buying gifts for individual parents or one together? So the customer might say, no, I'm just buying today for my mother. My father does not wear jewelry. So that narrows it down even further. So then you could go into, okay, what type of metal does she like? Are you looking for a necklace, ring, watch, a pendant? The customer might say she is fascinated by opals. Guess what? We just happen to have a full line of opals over here. We've got them in necklaces, pendants. We've got them in rings. Which type do you think she would wear? So then the customer might say, well, she has a strand of pearls that she wears all the time. So I don't want her to stop wearing those. So maybe let's look for an opal ring or an opal bracelet or something along that line. Well, you, understanding what she's looking for now, can say, well, maybe not a bracelet because opals are very soft and bracelets tend to get beat up pretty bad. So let's look at some rings. Does she like yellow gold or white gold? Customer might say, well, she's more partial to yellow gold. And you could say, great, because opals, which have a white color and a little bit of fire inside them, look fantastic in yellow gold. In white gold, they look kind of washed out, but in yellow gold, the richness comes through. So you see how you're leading that customer? You're not forcing them down a path. You're leading them to the thing that will make their mother the happiest. And plus, you're also conveying that it's their idea. And that is the mark of a great salesperson. You're leading the customer, you're not pushing them. I live in a world of jewelry. You may sell cars, you may sell watches, you may sell high-end shoes, you may sell high-end clothing. But it doesn't matter. Here is one rule that transcends every subject you may sell. Now you've got your customer drilled all the way down to she wants an opal in yellow gold. It's for her 50th wedding anniversary for her mother. Okay. See how you went through that funnel and you got all the way down to those specifics. The customer then says, well, the $1,000 opal is a little more than I wanted to spend. So you show them the $600 opal. She says, this is beautiful, and I think it's what I'm looking for, but it's still a little bit high. Do not drop your price right then, okay? Build value to show that customer why it's worth that price of money. What we have here at the store are value added statements like this. In other words, she says $600 is a lot of money for an opal ring. Let me look at the $300 one. Well, you can say things like this. Did you know it takes 2 tons of dirt out of the Earth's crust to get enough gold ore to make that one ring? Did you know that 10,000 opals had to be mined to get one to polish out with the fire and color the one you have in this ring? You see what I'm doing there? You're convincing the customer that this product is worth that price. If you automatically drop that price, if you say, okay, well, $600 too much, give me $500. What you just told that customer is you don't believe in your prices and you don't believe in your product. So what you have to do is overcome that temptation of dropping that price to make that sale and build value on the back end so she'll think and know that it's worth the $600, the $300, the $1,000. You've gotten all the way down to the specifics. She's picked out the $600 opal. It's time to close the sale. But before you do, before you say, is this cash, check, or credit, before you say, can I get your name and phone number, before you say, let me write up the ticket or whatever, start upselling now. You show her a pair of opal earrings. You show her that opal bracelet. But when you do, you tell her it can't be worn every day, yada, yada, yada. You show her something else with an opal. She may not buy it right then, but it'll be in the back of her mind for when mother has a birthday or mother has the 51st anniversary. You start adding on sales and upselling as soon as you possibly can. What we do here at the store, if a customer looks at a pair of earrings, they are already displayed with a matching necklace. They are already displayed with a matching bracelet. You can actually come into my store and buy a set. You can buy the earrings, the pendant, and the bracelet, and a ring, all at one time. Or you can buy them one at a time over the period of a year or two. So begin as quick as possible what we call add-on sales or upselling. Now it's time to close that sale. You've built value, you've approached the customer, you've exchanged information about what the customer's looking for, and you've agreed on a price. So now it's time to write up the order. And you've also gone down the road of add-on sales and later sales and things like that. So now it's time to ask that customer for their money. All you have to simply say, will this be cash, check, or credit card? That is a trigger for the customer to let them know it's time to pay. A lot of times I'll say something like, would you like for me to wrap it for you? Okay, so you start wrapping the product. You start writing the order. You start keying in the order into the computer. Invariably, that customer is going through their mind, did I do the right thing? Is that too much money for me to spend? That's called buyer's remorse, and it will happen from the time they decide to buy that product until about 3 days out. So what you have to do now is switch gears from your selling mode to more of a follow-up mode, okay? While you're wrapping the product, while the customer's walking around waiting for you to do your housekeeping things, convince that customer of what her mother will look like when she unwraps it. If you're buying a car for your 16-year-old daughter or you're selling one, convince that father and mother what that daughter's facial expression is going to be when that car comes in the driveway. you start talking about how beautiful it is and how wonderful she'll like it. And don't worry, we can size it and check it and clean it for free. You have to offer this daughter solidarity in the fact that you're going to stand behind your product and that you will be here if she decides to exchange it, if she decides to size it, if she doesn't like the color of the opal. Whatever the case may be, you have to be ready, willing, and able to fight that fire or change that product in a way that will bring pride and happiness to her mother. After all, that's what she's buying. She's not buying an opal ring. She's not buying a Lexus or a Bentley. She's buying happiness. She thinks, or he thinks, that when he buys this product and gives it to his wife, she will be happy. That's what you're selling when you sell luxury items. It's not so much the item. It's not so much the cost. It is what the product will give back to that person. It's time now to hand the bag of that wrapped gift or that contract to your customer. The sales is over. You've been paid. The customer has their merchandise. Now what you have to do is assure that customer that they made the right decision. One more time, convince that customer of what mom will look like when she unwraps it, what wife will look like when she unwraps it, what the response will be when he gives her an engagement ring, when dad drives up with the Sweet 16 Mustang. You have to convince that customer that they did the right thing. Hand in their bag. A lot of times we will have in the bag a little card that tells the customer our return policy and how to care for their item. Sometimes we'll include a cleaning kit. My wife, which is in marketing, calls that swag. But basically, you're assuring the customer they made the right choice in choosing you to buy from. As soon as they leave, write their name down and begin the follow-up process. What this means is maybe wait a day or two and shoot out a text to them, a text, an email, a phone call is wonderful, or a handwritten note. Thank you for allowing me to service you on such an important date as your mother and father's 51st anniversary. I hope everything goes well. I'm here for anything you might need related to the product you sell. Best wishes. I can't tell you how many people stop me in the grocery store to tell me about a handwritten note they got from me or my father about a piece of jewelry they bought. That means more to them a lot of times than that opal ring did. So remember, begin the follow-up process as soon as you possibly can. Start upselling that customer and showing them different items in that same subject line. All this is exchanging information. And if you're real smart, I'll tell you another trick. You'll find a notebook somewhere and you'll write this stuff down. Peggy Sue came in. She bought an opal for her grandmother or for her mother, 51st wedding anniversary. I also showed her opal rings, opal necklaces, opal earrings, opal bracelets, that type of thing. So let me tell you what will happen then. When this lady's husband comes in, hopefully, and says, Peggy Sue is my wife. She said she looked at a few items in here 6 or 8 months ago. Go back to your notebook. Yes, sir, she did. She really liked this opal pendant. She was buying an anniversary gift for her mother and looked at it. She really liked it. You just got another sale. Okay, guys, that's it. The 7-step selling process, and that was video number 2. It's called Exchanging Information. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure enjoyed giving it to you. My name is Jason Hulon. I'm a second-generation jeweler and a bench jeweler. I have sold products for the better part of 30 years. Let me know if you have any comments or questions, and I'll answer them just as quick as I can. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Video 3 coming up. We're going to learn how to build value.